Today, we're diving page by page into issue number 20. And trust me when I say, the psychological warfare has officially begun. Bruce Wayne is a man framed, hunted, and entirely backed into a corner. The city he sacrificed everything to protect has officially turned on him. Weaponized by a massive propaganda campaign led by Mayor Hill and the billionaire tycoon Jack Grimm. But in this issue, public opinion is the least of Batman's problems. Hey there, you mean DC fans, and welcome if you're new. I am Mantis, and today we're going to get into Batman, Absolute Batman issue number 20. Let's check it out. We open on the ultimate subversion of the Dark Knight mythos, the Absolute Joker Cave. In this dark reality, though, Bruce Wayne is a struggling blue-collar laborer, while Jack Grimm is the billionaire elite with a subterranean playroom of psychological horror. Kind of a flip, on its head type of thing, which the Absolute Universe has been known to do up until this point. So, anyway, surrounded by sick mirrors of the classic Bat trophies, a giant penny and a prehistoric skeleton, the Joker sits, hooked up to a horrific fetal baby machine. The tech physically morphs his monstrous true form back into his flawless human disguise, all while he laughs hysterically at the torture he's about to unleash. Next, we see the terrifying reach of Grimm's wealth. Mayor Hill goes on live television to run a brilliant propaganda hit job. And we saw this from the last issue a little bit too. He weaponizes the brand new state-funded Robin initiative led by General Slade Wilson. Yes, it's Deathstroke. He tells Gotham that these sick, tragic kids are the perfect cure for the city's real problem, Batman. He brands Bruce an agent of pure chaos, a cowled prince of crime who terrorized the innocent, which, again, a call to the Joker's crown prince of crime. Like that little ad in there. Sitting alone in the dark, though, Bruce shuts off the television, completely unfazed by the media lies, as he turns his eyes to a far more dangerous threat, and something that's really weighing on his mind. Bruce is sifting through the half-burned files that Jim Gordon died to deliver to him. The dark truth is spelled out in black ink. Dr. Crane believes Bruce to be susceptible. His entire life, the winning science project, the trip to the zoo, the murder of his father, was calculated psychological experiment orchestrated by the Joker and Scarecrow. Before Bruce could even process this, though, Barbara Gordon breaks through the comms line. She's devastated, crying out into the dark, begging Batman to look her in the eye and promise her he didn't murder her father. And Alfred is trying to get a pulse on Bruce through that locked door, but Harley Quinn has a more explosive solution to the situation. She charges in with her Thunder Freaker Mallet 92, which is a 92,000 volt magistrate amplified weapon that blasts that vault right off its hinges. But it's kind of empty. Bruce is already gone, escaping through a super manhole in the concrete floor, just, of course, happens to be there. But that's when she shifts her focus again to those scattered files on the ground, and as she reads that secret origin of the Batman, the color drains from her face, and all she can say is, "Oh no." The story shifts to check in on Bruce's former circle of friends as they slide deeper into their iconic villain personas. Waylon finds Eddie Nigma fully integrated into his cybernetic Riddler apparatus. Looks more like futuristic virtual reality. Assuming he's still mad at Bruce, Waylon tells him to at least look at him, but Eddie tells him he's occupied. Waylon is still wanting to keep the group of friends together and figure out a way to get out of the hell they find themselves in. But Eddie's confused on his premise on even needing a way out. Giant screens on the wall track Harvey Dent acting as Two-Face, dispensing brutal street justice with a poker chip, and Oswald Cobblepot preparing explosives to wipe out a rival nightclub. Clearly, those two have kind of taken to the crime side of things. But Waylon grabs Eddie, feeling they're falling apart, especially from what he just saw on the TV screens. But again, Eddie states they're occupied. But occupied in the sense that they're like cities that Bane had sacked, and they're trying to take control back. So when Waylon reminds Eddie that they can only reclaim their lives together, prompting the Riddler to smile and say, "You're one of us now, buddy. What were you thinking we'd do about Bruce?" We jump back into the timeline to see exactly how Bruce built his legendary underworld network. I say legendary. To pay off the massive debt he took on to protect Selina from the uh, Bibbo fight with Waylon, Bruce allows Carmine Falcone to drop him off at Blackgate Prison. Now, Falcone bribes one of the corrupt judges named Zupa to give him a light 6 month stretch instead of 6 hard years. Again, this is all a plan. And there's a heavy catch because Bruce is officially Falcone's inside man. His job? To learn every blind spot, every corrupted guard, and every hidden pipeline running through the prison block. Back to the present time, Batman is on the move and determined to find out if what he read in the files Jim gave him are true. He's heading to the place he knows well from his past time served for Falcone and his frequent trips to visit Joe Chill, Blackgate. Armed with the prison blueprints he memorized years ago, Batman stages a quiet but violent and terrifying breach into maximum security. He breaks straight through the outer brick wall, cornering Joe Chill inside his cell. Bruce wraps the razor clawed cape tightly around his parents' killer, slamming against the cold iron. He demands the truth. Was the zoo a lie? Was it a hit? Now he's getting the chance to interrogate Joe Chill that he couldn't as a normal citizen on his frequent visits. He barks at Chill to admit his entire life has been steered by a master plan. Chill completely panics, of course, screaming for the guards to save him. But they don't answer. Someone else does. Someone that's been inside his cell the whole time. Scarecrow. The Scarecrow has been sitting right inside the cell that whole time, lighting up a smoke laced with his psychological toxin. Now, I know previously I said I didn't know. Maybe it was toxic because he kind of breathed it on those farmers. But other times he's controlling the crows. It's hard to tell. But I think this kind of confirms it that every time he's blowing that toxin, that smoke from his cigarette is kind of what he's using to control people. In any event, he commands Joe to go make his bed. And separated by the iron bars, Scarecrow feeds Bruce's questions with more questions. But he does eventually get to a bombshell. The Batman Project isn't a grand conspiracy. It's a cosmic joke. And it all started with Batman's mother, Martha Wayne, a loyal Talon for the Court of Owls. Batman lunges through the bars in a blind rage, trying to grab Crane, but Scarecrow casually draws a butterfly knife and stabs him, driving it deep into the soft underside of Batman's arm. He tells him she ran off to their hideout as well, but may not have ended too good for her. Continuing the mind attack, Crane reinforces the notion that Bruce's life was all part of a plan by him and Mr. Grimm, seemingly just a joke. Still under the toxic suggestion from Scarecrow, Joe Chill finishes his makeshift noose, and while Joe Chill steps off his bunk to hang himself, Batman desperately shoots his cape through the bars to support the man's weight. Seemingly kind of similar to what he tried to do with Jim, trying saving this person that Scarecrow has in his clutches. Anyway, Scarecrow circles them like a vulture, delivering a chilling speech about the modern age of dread, where humanity no longer fears tangible dangers, but collapses under the weight of massive global conspiracies they can't control. With a sharp flick of his wrist, Scarecrow slices right through Batman's cape with his knife, dropping Joe Chill to his death. With this point made, Scarecrow bids goodbye to Chill like an old friend and steps back into the dark corners of the cell, completely dissolves into a swirling vortex of black feathers. Traumatized, a little bit bleeding, and now framed for yet another murder inside a high security facility, Batman is forced to drop back out of the shattered concrete wall, plunging headfirst into a city that officially views him as a monster. Next, a flashback shows Falcone's men handing a young Bruce Wayne a wooden baseball bat, casually telling him it's just a tool to enforce compliance. The weapon that defines his identity was chosen for him by the very mafia he fights. We cut straight back to present day, where Batman is flying through the rain as he, just escaped from the Blackgate prison that he was trying to interrogate Chill with. But he's panicking and breaking down over the radio to Alfred, trying to make sense of what he was told, gasping that Chill was executed right in front of his eyes, something that maybe he wanted to do too. However, the clouds shatter as Dick Grayson descends from above in a skyscraper-sized mech Robin armor, declaring Batman under arrest, and Bruce executes a full tactical dive to escape that airspace ASAP. General Slade Wilson's training has turned these orphans into a military strike team, as Jason Todd blocks his descent in a second massive mech suit, unleashing a heavy wall of tracer rounds that rips Batman's cape to shreds and sends him catering into the street below. The remaining three Robins, Tim, Duke, and Stephanie, arrive on advanced motorcycles that transform and wrap around their bodies into massive mech suits as well. 5 mechanical gods, funded by the Joker and trained by Deathstroke. They all stand in a circle around the Dark Knight. Alfred is screaming through the comms for Bruce to run, to retreat, to survive. But Absolute Batman doesn't run. He reaches to his chest plate, grabs the steel handle of his massive battle axe, and rips it free. The showdown of Batman and the Robins continues in the next issue. All right, guys, thanks for sticking with me through this video. Hope you liked it. This issue was pretty good, actually. Batman is trying to come to grips still with what happened with Jim, but he's really more interested in what Jim gave him. And what he found out from those letters is that his whole life, his whole ascent or descent, depending on how you look at it, of turning into Batman could have been some pre-written, orchestrated plan by Jack Grimm and, Crane. It's just wild. And he's trying to come to grip with it. And just as he escapes that, he gets, run into by this Robin initiative that Grimm has also put in there. And he's got Deathstroke training all these Robins. It's a weird dichotomy there, but I like it. I really do. In any event, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you know when we come out with new videos, including any of our absolute comic videos, or things are picking up now in the DCU. So we've got a lot of news videos coming out. So make sure you guys check those out. And until next time, stay golden.